guys, and welcome back to my channel, and thanks for tuning in today. So in today's video we're going to be building a koala habitat, because we have gone through the alphabet now and we are sitting happily at K. So we're almost halfway there, and we've done the Komodo dragon habitat, so now we're going to do the koala habitat. So let's get to it. Now this habitat is a very simple build. It didn't take me too long to do. To be honest, I was lacking in a little bit of motivation when I was building this, so it's nothing too fancy or exciting. I'm probably going to be doing something very big for the polar bear, which we're rapidly approaching, and I'm a bit terrified about what I'm actually going to do with the polar bear, because I need such a big area and a large amount of space that I'm going to have to actually think about what I'm building for a change, rather than just building like a zombie, which is kind of how I've been building as of late. So yeah, I wanted to use the Australia pack pieces, keep it very Australia themed. Obviously, as always, I build my enclosures out of things that the koalas can climb up and down on. Super duper useful. So I do have to tweak it sort of at the end so the koalas can't actually climb up and down any of it. And yeah, so this is just, building the structural wall of how this building's going to be, and I decided I was going to go for sort of like a dome with some squares off to either side, and we just effectively just rotate this around we go. I decided I was going to do it manually so I could get it fitting how I wanted it to be, fitting. Yeah, I am a big fan of the Australia pack pieces. I really am. I think it's definitely their best pack, as I said in the previous video. So this habitat is opposite the Komodo dragon habitat. You probably saw a little bit of it in the last video, because I sort of built them basically in the same day at the same time, because they're very small habitats. I mean, the koalas don't need much space. I could probably go into a lot more detail with these, but as I said, I've sort of been kind of in a little bit of a hole at the moment myself, so my motivation has been kind of zero. Yeah, so I hope you liked Spooky Week. I think I mentioned it again last video. Obviously, that was last week now for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed watching the videos, and the Long Dark is going to be starting this weekend. So do stay tuned for that, because that should be quite fun. We'll be able to test my survival skills. I've not played it in a while, so I'm probably going to be a bit rusty. But anyway, yeah, so the idea of this is that the guests can see the koalas from inside. They go in this little circular bit here, and then there's these kind of squares that come off at either side, and you just sort of can see them from in there. And the koalas have a little bit of shelter, and there's going to be two habitats, you see. So because the koalas are so small, I decided to do sort of two smallish habitats that the guests can walk around. And essentially they we have one pair of koalas and one side for the other, and it just means that we have a bit more space for them. I don't have the eucalyptus plant researched yet, because I've not actually put koalas in any franchise zoos, so I have yet to research them, and I will be adding the eucalyptus enrichment feeders as soon as that's sorted, but for now they're just going to have to do without. I decided that it would be more of a forest habitat. So I have seen koalas in real life before, and they don't tend to be given a lot of sort of climbing frames per se. They tend to just sort of have the trees in their habitat that they can climb, because that's kind of what they like to do. And koalas don't really do much anyway when they climb trees. They just climb a tree and sit up in it, which is why I haven't built a climbing frame really. There's a little bit of a climbing frame in the indoor bit, but generally their habitat is very simple and very kind of just a little forest. So it's sort of a koala forest really. I guess that's probably what the name of the habitat will be. So yeah, so this is just me doing the paths so that the guests can go around. I do change the the staff gates from being inside to outside, just because it doesn't really work very well. As I said, I love the climbable items, but unfortunately koalas can climb. But yeah, so we went to Longleat Safari Park last year. I believe we went for Valentine's Day. So my dad, who I was living with at the time, sort of lived in the Bristol area, so I'm currently in Oxford myself, and Tom, my partner, he works in Oxford. So we decided we would meet up in the middle, and and like stay in like a cottage. We stayed in like the most gorgeous cottage, and it was sort of just like someone had converted their garage in their house into a cottage, but it was so nice. So we stayed there, I think, for over a weekend or something. We had like a long weekend. We were originally going to go hiking, but then I think it was like some storm, whatever it was called, decided to show up, and it meant we couldn't go hiking. So we just sort of had a mosey around the local area. And we went to Longleat Safari Park, that was what I wanted to do. It was also sort of for my birthday, so my birthday is like right next to Valentine's Day, so we usually do something like that week is kind of pretty busy anyway. Like I've got a lot of family members who have birthdays in February, so I'm usually all over the place in February. And then Tom's birthday is in March, so again, sort of it's a very busy time. So yeah, so we went to Longleat Safari Park and we saw koalas, they were really, really cute. And I'm gonna see if I can pop the video that I've got of a koala. I'll see if I get it off my phone and put it on the computer. Get the video of it doing something, because it like jumped. Okay, it really, really jumped. Like I've always seen pictures of koalas and they're always just sitting there like looking grumpy, and this koala like leapt from one branch to the other branch. As I said, they just sort of had these like trees, like the eucalyptus trees that they have in the game. That is what koalas basically have in zoos. And along Longleat Safari Park, they had these koalas, and we were talking to the zookeeper about it, and he was just like, yeah, they often fall off their like perches and things. Like they're such silly little animals. Like they've got the smoothest brain of any animal on the planet. There's not really a lot going up there. If I recall, they're very kind of dopey creatures, and they are very, very cute. They are very similar to wombats in sort of like anatomy wise, but I think koalas are just that extra bit special with the fact that they eat eucalyptus, and they've basically found something that is toxic and have decided to just keep eating it despite it being toxic, and that is the only thing they'll eat. So yeah, so obviously eucalyptus plants are generally quite toxic to animals, and the koalas spend most of their day digesting the eucalyptus plants, and because it takes them so long to eat and like digest it, they have to spend most of their time eating, and then when they're not eating, they're sleeping. So they just sort of like eat and sleep. They're in like a constant food coma, which is not a bad place to be fair. But yeah, so they were ever so funny, and I remember seeing them. However, Tom had never been to Longleat Safari Park before, and he was so excited to see the wolves. Like I can remember the look on his face. He was just thrilled. So we were one of those people like who ended up just sitting down and not doing a lot. Like we just sat in the car and didn't move for ages when we got to the wolf habitat, because they're my partner's his favorite animal. So he was so excited to see wolves, and he's never seen wolves before, like in real life. So he was so excited to see them. We had a really good day. Like they used to have it so that you could walk through the penguin enclosure at Longleat Safari Park, but when we went there in February, they'd swapped it for a binturong habitat, which again is an animal I would love to see in the game. We could easily have a binturong in the game, and I really hope we don't like miss out on having it, because Frontier need to get their act together. As I mentioned in my last video, if you want to hear me go on a rant about everything Frontier is doing wrong, then please go check out my other video. There's also like, a speed build happening, but it's mostly me just ranting about Frontier, because it's been a year. Come on, Frontier, you can do something. Been a year since your game's been released. Anyway, so yeah, this is the edge of the zoo now, so I wanted to use the rocks that I used from the Komodo dragon's habitat to kind of create like a barrier that the guests can't see through. So that's kind of what I was going for with here. I just wanted to kind of continue this sort of little theme we have going on. I was trying to get the guest gate in to work properly because it was really struggling. And then this just sort of is on a little weird path thing going on because I didn't plan this very well, so that's just how it went. and then we have another guest gate here, and then they go through. So yeah, they essentially can walk through both habitats. I'm pretty sure the guests are not going to do that. In fact, I'm almost positive the guests are not going to do that, because why the hell would they? They would, if it were us, real guests, real people, they would 100% walk through both. But because the guests in the game, as soon as they've seen the animal, they don't really care. They're just going to walk through and then walk back the other way. So I kind of just like this kind of whole area and just sort of how it's themed. So as I said, I didn't really put any climbing frames in here, and the reason for that is because koalas don't really tend to use climbing frames in the zoos that I've seen at, so maybe in different places they do, but I decided they would just have some natural trees to climb, and then the eucalyptus enrichment item once I've got that researched, and I still haven't got it researched, unfortunately. So yeah, I love, love, love these white gum trees. They are gorgeous. They are so pretty, and they're my favourite tree in the game. Let me know what your favourite tree in the game is, because I mean that's my favourite tree, is the white gum tree, the ghost gum tree. It's gorgeous. Yes, this is just finishing touches now with the plants and things, and just having a drink of it. But yeah, so as you can see, I was really struggling with the inside of this, and I think I must have redone it about 3 or 4 times, and I don't think it's all recorded. I think a lot of it I just thought I was really struggling. As I said, I had really bad builder's block. I was not feeling Planet Zoo. Planet Zoo was the last thing I wanted to play, but I also wanted to get the videos out. So that's the end of that. I'm going to give you a little tour quickly so you can actually see what I did build, and that's it. And I will see you in the next video. So take care, guys, and enjoy the cinematics. You're about to see all the different things I did. And yeah, take care.